Right guys, welcome back. This is technically January's tour, even though it's February 1st today. And this video will be out either today or tomorrow, February 2nd. Sorry I've not done any videos recently. Not been feeling too well. Still not top of my game. And I've not done a lot in the garden probably since I've done the last tour video, to be honest. One thing I have changed. You'll see here, there used to be a planter here, or a wooden planter here up against the decking. I've stripped that out, and what we're going to do is where the decking steps are, just here, get rid of them ones, open them up between the two null posts just on here, and have a wider staircase, which will just make the garden more inviting, and you'll just open it up from the decking much better. And then this staircase here will be closed off and use this area for a planting space. Not too sure what will go in there yet. You can see I've been up and down here trudging with all the materials, making a mess of the steps. So let's have a look at what's happening in the garden then. Starting here as always, not really any different. Nothing's happening different here today. Still got one of the cuttings of the Mahonia soft caress. Yeah, it's still pretty green, so not looking any worse. Hopefully that takes, and that could probably stay here, I think, then, because as this Trachycarpus grows up, that'll underplant it, grow into metre and a half. So that'll work well in this area. I've got another one just down at the end here. I absolutely love. I'll have a look at this one now. It's one of my favourite plants. And just look at that, fantastic. So this one's soft caress. I've also got a sweet winter and a volcano in the garden. I think I want to get a couple more of the sweet winter. It has a slightly wider leaflet than this one. Still similar form, but just, yeah, slightly wider leaflet on it. These ferns still looking nice and green. And I have actually chopped back a few of the waggy fronds that were really looking quite sorry for themselves. And now it's getting a few new leaves this year that'll fill back out, and it'll look better for it. Yeah, so now that it's filling out a bit, I cut the old ones off. They were really long and brown and not really adding anything to the plant. So by cutting them off, just neatens the area up a little bit. And hopefully, yeah, it'll grow nicer this year. I'm hoping so. We've got a little bit of flowers going on with the hellebores. As I've flowered really well this year. A couple of different colours in the garden, but this one's the most mature plant. Yeah, nice splash of flower for end of January, early February. The potted plants are still here. I think this Scheffler is the one that's going to go here. And then we've got this different type of laurel. Nice long leaves on it. Yeah, good size them. Nice. Don't know about the euphorbia, whether that stays here or not. Same with the fatsia. Fatsia's took a bit of damage actually. It'll be perfectly fine, that one. So now we've opened this section up, you'll see where the princeps is. Lovely plant that. This protection will be coming off in, I don't know, maybe another month or so. Get the worst out of the way, maybe get to middle of March, and that'll come off. Shouldn't get too many hard frosts then. It's doing perfectly well here. It will have some cover again at some point when the new steps come down here, and they'll land somewhere at this path. So it'll just be from where the handrail is currently to the other post. Clear everything in between. Get rid of all the bags of stone, which are for the pond. And then, yeah, that will look nice. You'll stand as you come down through the garden. This will be the new viewpoint to the garden. I think that'll be really nice once the lawn's greened up. Well, something I have done since the last video is I've tidied up these giant red hot pokers. You can see at the leaf bases, pulled a load off because they were really long and straggly and not looking too good. So they've just come off. Carry on growing again now. these little lumps here were Persicaria, but I can't remember if they were red dragon or purple fantasy. I can't remember what I had planted. I don't know. I'm going to say purple fantasy. Just 'cause I'm not sure I had any more red dragon in the garden other than one clump. There's two of them. Yet to be seen if they're getting planted again, because they do spread like mad. So I've got plenty in the garden that I don't necessarily need to replant them, but we'll see. Cut back a few of the leaves on the Cordyline australis. Just gives me more underplanting opportunities. We've got some much smaller red hot pokers in here, which looking a bit messy this time of year, but they might stay or I might replace them. We'll see. I've got plenty of a gardening space that I've got room to plant, not necessarily needing to change this one currently. But yeah, this is growing lovely now, this Cordyline. This big fern will be getting chopped back shortly. Must be a metre across, this thing, you know. It's a massive fern. This was originally taken out of my mum's garden. And yeah, it could be divided really and made a couple of little smaller plants. Even if I split it into a third, it'd still be a nice big plant. But I do like this one. I have no idea what it is. If anyone knows which fern this is, just drop a comment in the comments below. Yeah, nothing else has really changed here. Black grasses are looking well though against the cobbles. Really like that. Mentioned it before, I'd keep dividing these when I can and keep edging the path all the way down here. This track is looking good. And then here we've just got some plants out the greenhouse while it's nice and mild. It's been mild for a couple of weeks now, so we've got one of two of the new Trachycarpus Fortunii cross Princeps palms. I bought two of these before Christmas to go. They're going to go down the bottom behind the fence into the new area whenever that is, so they might not even be planted this year, but I've got them to grow on and they'll be ready when I'm ready. Here then we've got Schefflera rhododendrofolia. Beautiful foliage on this one. That cut leaf. It's a nice plant. Then I've got three Schefflera alpinas, two for myself, one for my dad. Then we have a Schefflera delavei. This is a lovely plant. I really like this one. Doesn't grow as tall. Really a bit more of a spreader. You know, I'd say it'll spread wider than it'll grow tall, or at least initially. I don't know how tall this will eventually get. But this is a nice plant. I've got to think carefully where I'm planting this. I want it in a nice prime location, I think, ideally. It may even go in this bed just so that I've got something to look at all year, because this has been my troublesome bed for the last couple of years now. Normally has my ensete in the middle, but then for a good few months of the year, 4 or 5 months of the year, it's sat with not a lot in it, so it needs more interest. So this is a candidate that could potentially go in this bed. This one's Trachycarpus nova. You've seen this in many videos. It just gets moved about wherever I need it while it's in its pot. Does catch a bit of wind though, this palm, so it's not probably ideal for my garden because I do get a fair bit of wind. But I wanted an over. And then this is the other Princeps cross. So yeah, I bought two of those. So this one's the Acacia delbata. This has actually, over the last few weeks, it's starting to show damage. I think when we had the worst of the weather, and we got down to like -5, it was still looking really good. But it's only as the weeks have, progressed, it started to take looking like it's taking some damage. I don't mind if it has. It's like I've mentioned in previous videos, it's very tall and leggy and top heavy. It just wants to flop about all the time. So if it does die back, probably going to suit me that it can just start from lower down, let it get its roots in and support itself a bit better. Because currently, if I were to take that stake out, I think it'd just be laid on the floor. So there's not much point in me doing much I'd be tempted to cut it back myself anyway. Lovely fine foliage on this though. Yeah, beautiful on that. And it has these little yellow flower clusters. This will turn into a big tree, and this will just grow up into this space here. I'm looking forward to that. Not sure how long it'll take to get to that sort of size, but yeah, looking forward to that eventually getting to tree-like proportions. If anyone's got any ideas for this bed, I say it's a decent sized bed here. Just let me know what you think. What you think I should put in it. I said all these pots here, or most of them, they're just here for a bit of an afternoon out, a couple of days out while it's nice weather. If we get any freezing temperatures again, they'll all go back in the greenhouse just to protect them while they're in any small pots, especially the small Schifleras which I've only just purchased. I don't want to be losing any of them for the sake of just popping them in the greenhouse. Looking at the Tetrapanax then, this is looking like it hopefully not going to die back, because you can see in here looking like some new leaves starting already. I mean, if they do start growing anytime soon, there's a good chance they'll get frosted back again, but at least we've not got dieback like the year before. You can see it lost a fair bit of height, because that's even chopped back. The main stem was above any of these two secondary growths, so it did lose a fair bit of height, but yeah, it's recovered well. But obviously it did pup last year. Sent out a few pups. One there, another one there, and then there's another one here, and another one here. I've left them all so far. I don't know what I'm doing with them yet. It's not decided. But they're not causing me any issues at the minute. And if I dig them out, they're only going to re-pup again, I presume, anyway. So this one's another one of the Mahonias I was saying then. This one's Volcano. This one has really nice orangey colour flowers when it flowers. Not so yellow like some of the other ones. They are a nice rich orange colour. So I'm looking forward to this one getting bigger, and it's not flowered for me this winter. So we'll see this grow this year and see if it flowers for me at the end of 2025 into 26. But yeah, another nice little addition to the garden. We've got his cordline still looking good. Torbay Dazzler and Charlie Boy. They had a little bit of protection when we had some cold weather. Showed you in a previous video, I just used a zip tie. And I did actually throw a little fleece bag over these just because I had them available to me, so I did throw them over. But they're looking perfectly fine, these. I'm really pleased with that. I'm hoping the worst of the weather's past us, but February is typically a very cold month. So we'll see how we get on with this month. Have another Schiflera Taiwaniana here. This one looks a bit sorry for itself, to be fair, this one. All of its leaves are a bit droopy, but I'm hoping that's alright. I've got a bigger one that's looking much better. That's over near the greenhouse in the bamboo. Try and remember to show you that one when we get there. There's a Colocasia Galagonensis in here. It's had no protection whatsoever. We'll see if that comes back. I don't have a lot of luck with them ones coming back, to be honest with you, but there's one there, and there's one, if we follow the path just down here, there's another one under this pot. We'll have a look under here. So you can see the calm of it. See what it's like. It's a bit squishy like. I'm not sure how that'll do. I say I don't have much luck with them coming back. Cannas, I've not really done anything with most of my Cannas this year. I think I've mentioned that before. I have though divided some Cannas that were in the planter I took down last week, and they've had no protection whatsoever, and they were they were solid, really healthy. I've divided them, and so the fact that they're all right, it's a good indicator that the rest of the cannas in the garden will be all right. Yeah, I think these ones will all be all right. I protected these with all the leaves. Look to be keeping them nice and dry. This clump's probably going to get divided because yeah, it's a monster of a clump, this one now. It's been in 2 years without moving, so I think this year needs dividing. I'll probably replant some of them here and then move some on as well. Either sell them on or just put them in elsewhere in the garden, but I don't want a garden full of cannas. Got plenty of them. This Camrops Volcano's looking good this year. This spear pulled the first year I got it, and this is there's some evidence of that. But yeah, since then it's really nice and green and healthy. No damage whatsoever this winter. See some of the older leaves with a spotting on. I could take them off like some of the older ones now, but yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I don't have to be too pristine. At some point when we take all the protection off the bananas, I'll do a video on that, see how they've looked. I've not really looked under them apart from when some of the pots have blown off, so we'll leave them for now. Under this pot then, this is another colocasia, but this is just a Escalenta shop bought, supermarket bought one. And this, see here, I think this is, yeah, rock hard. I'm very confident that'll come through actually, and that's been just as reliable and probably, well, more reliable than the ones that I've bought named variety. And pretty cheap really from supermarkets, so gets a nice size leaf on it. It's well worth growing as another plant. You know, if I keep losing Megalogonensis and Pink China don't come back fully reliably for me, and they come back but not always super strong. That's why I like to grow them in the greenhouse as well as for backup plants. And then what else we got here? This fern's getting ready for a cut back. It's looking a bit tatty now, but still nice and green. So until the new croziers start coming through, there's no point in cutting that back really. But the bigger tree fern, the Dixonias, yeah, they're looking a bit sorry for themselves now. All these will be getting cut back, and then last year's still a bit of green on us, so I'll leave them. It's only the real dead ones I'm going to cut back. You can see it's still got some winter protection on from when we had the cold weather last month. Just a bit of fleece with some wire wrapped around just to hold it in place. There's nothing in the crown. I don't know if you'll see in the crown. Yeah, there's nothing in the crown, but it's just a bit of protection just to keep off the worst of the weather. But it's been, like I say, it has been pretty mild for the last few weeks. Here's my Kinley Hill. I do like this one. This is the triple planting of it. 3 of them in here. Hopefully in the next few years these will start to show themselves in this spot, because they'll get lost in no time. I mean, there's some big hostas in here that even they'll pretty much bury these palms at the minute. And I'm hoping they can get the roots down deep enough that they get through the tree fern roots, because they are a thick mat of roots. I dug something out of here late last year. Yeah, just thick mat of roots from tree fern. Not a lot going on under here this time of year now. I'm going to keep chopping off the bottom leaves of this Fatsia. I want it to be a bit of a standard, so as it grows up and above the fence, just keep cutting it back, have it as a bit more of a standard tree with, I don't know what I'm going to underplant it with, but yeah, it'll be nice. It's fully underplanted, and at some point a new path will run through here into the corner, hopefully where that last fence post is, and then around. And this needs a lot of work down in this area. Pond's needing a good clean. So I've done absolutely nothing since last month when I said that it needed a clean out there, and I've still done nothing. Yeah, it does need a bit of work. Let's hope that this trackie does something this year. It's just deteriorated over the last 18 months. It's a B&M special one. It looked alright when I first put it in, but it's not really done a lot. I'm hoping it never really grew at all last year, I don't think. So I'm hoping this year it really starts to go. But every new palm frond that comes out just gets shredded straight away. Really has no strength to it. Very floppy. We'll see. It's going to stay in regardless, so unless it dies on me. These Carexes are great. They really edge a path really well. I divided one of these not that long ago. Split a big one that would just, it wasn't really being seen where it was. Split a big one into 5. To be fair, each one was, even after it was split, nearly looked as big as the plant that I divided it from. So as long as all them take, that gives me a few more for spring to plant. It's lovely that. So it's Carex Everlime, that one. I think I only started with 1 or 2 and I've got a fair few knocking around the garden now. This Fatsia polycarpa in here, this got really hit back. Surprising really, because it was under the tree fern canopy and it had some nice big leaves on, as big as these ones here. All the new growth, well, it weren't even that new growth, just last year's growth, all got fried off. I'm sure it'll come back perfectly fine, but here's a nice big leaf off it. It's a bit disappointing that took so much damage under this bit of cover. It's quite sheltered in this little spot. I'm glad to see that my loquat has done really well over winter. That only went in quite late last year. Lovely big evergreen leaves on that. I have seen over the last month or 2 a lot of people's lost theirs. Well, not lost them, but had them really damaged, knocked back. Either snapped or blown over and lost significant height. Obviously this one's only a small one, so it's well protected. But yeah, that's done quite well since going in. See how that one gets on this year. I think I've mentioned it before, it might get moved this, I'm not too sure. As this will get to a significant size and I don't know if this is the spot I want it in. For now it's alright, yeah. So while we're here then I'll show you the other Schefflera in this area. Another Taiwaniana. This one's looking really good. It's just a shame I might have planted it too close to this bamboo. It's really, if it does stay here, it's just going to really want to lean right over. And this is where my access to the tap is, where my automatic irrigation goes on this tap here. You can see that's where the pipe goes for it. So if it leans right over, it's just gonna limit my access to that tap, I think. So ideally I don't want it to, this bit needs to stay up, and that's why I've got a big stepping stone here and lower ferns, just so that I've got a bit of clear space to get to that. It's a Persicaria, what's this, Painter's Palette I think this one was. First winter for me this. I believe it should come back. I took a few cuttings anyway and they're in the greenhouse. I think this should come back hopefully. And this is my biggest clump of bamboo. Fargesia robusta Campbell. Lovely evergreen bamboo. It does flop over a fair bit whenever it's been raining heavy or it's got snowfall on. Completely blocked access to my greenhouse when we had all that snowfall, but that's the least of my worries. Normally I can't get in the greenhouse because it freezes solid. And the little runners at the bottom. And then, oh, I didn't even mention the boot here. So it had a bit of winter protection over, just a few posts, little overhead cover, and that's it really. I've not done a lot else to it, but it looks to be doing really well. I'm not sure how much that grew last year, so as it was its first year, I got it last Christmas. So it's had a full year now. Got planted out in about March. So it's not even been in the ground a year. We'll see how it grows this year. Hopefully it does quite well, that. So this is usually, in summer months, this is my favourite view of the garden. As you come out the greenhouse, all your large bananas here, bamboo, tree ferns, gives you a lovely little walkway down and through. Can't wait for that again this year. Hopefully we keep all the height on the bananas, and this year might be the first year that if I do keep the height on them, I might get one of them to flower. If it flowers, as you know, they'll die off that main stem, but it'd be nice to see it. I've never had one flower for me. That'll be nice. But yeah, there's not too much happening this month. There's a few little things popping up, like down here. I've got no end of bluebells come up constantly every year. Big patch of them. I never planted these, they just come back, they multiply each year. They were here when I first moved in. I think even if I wanted to get rid of them, I can't. There's that many of them. I've dug up a lot of them when planting, and I never replant them, but they just keep coming back. But probably for next month's video, be a nice little display of them, I'll be able to show you. There's another one of the giant hostas that'll be coming back shortly. Can't remember which one that is, might be UFO, that one. So I'm not going to show you behind the fence, but if anyone would like to see what's happening around there, because that's where I've been spending most of my time, then drop me a message in the comment section below. I'll sort out, we can do a small video, a little update of what's happening around there. But for the purpose of this video, I don't think there's much point, because there's not really enough to warrant seeing. Here we're back to them. This Mahonia again. Really are a good plant, these. I'd recommend these to anyone either starting out or just looking for some additional plants to the garden. Beautiful evergreen plant, very fine delicate foliage. Right, so that's it guys. So it's the end of January tour done. I'll see you next month for the next one.